No way I just did this. Is what I said to myself when I, for some reason, cleared the whole Grim Forest, both in normal and on hard. I will go through with you guys. Well, I mean, some nodes are clear, not clear, but I killed Gaution, Gration, that guy, this guy right here. I killed him, both in hard and normal. And I'm gonna go through each boss on hard, specifically, because, I mean, easy, hard, it's kind of same. If you do it on hard, you can do it on easy. So I'll go through each boss here and then just talk about, like, how we did it. Or I did it. You didn't do it, but you can do it if you watch this video. Maybe. We'll see. I also want to show you guys what kind of level my account is. People say that if you do not have Marius, if you're not clear the Marius missions, then you're not really end game account. I don't know. I see that's a good milestone, I guess. I'm pretty far off. Same with Romantu. And my champions are the following here. I have a bunch of level 60s, and some of these champions that I have here is not in the Grim Forest trees because, you know, we locked it in like 3 weeks ago. So with that being said, my million power is 5.73 million. That might not tell you so much, but it gives you a rough estimate of where my account is. All right. I'm not gonna go through each boss and kill them because, I mean, there's proof. There's a check mark there, and if we struggle, we struggle, okay? But I'll tell you this. I was done with normal. I went into hard and go like, alright, I guess let's try the bosses. And then back to back to back to back. And then the last boss, I'm like, we killed it all. I'm like, what the hell just happened? Alright, so let's start off with the first one. This might be a little bit rough, but usually what I do with these, when I go through these bosses, I click boss guide, I scroll all the way down, and I read the bottom here. I mean, you can read the whole thing, but I mean, too long didn't read, you know what I mean? So basically, I just go, okay, beating Drogna requires balance of both survivability and the right debuffs to counter, okay. And then what do we need? We need shield buffs, okay. We need block debuffs and HP burn. If we got that, we're pretty good. So we got sustainability here with basically all of them, and then we have Skrank that is providing the HP burn. So let's go through it. I don't remember exactly how we did this, but here we go. So we start off here. I want to place HP burn as quick as possible. Usually, well, with oh my god, Mithrala. She doesn't get CC that often, but we might be able to cleanse this right here. And if we don't do it there, perfect, we got it there. We're gonna save this cleanse because if we got frozen again. And what saves us big time here is the block debuffs that Elva will provide. Once we have that, we're pretty much safe. And if we can keep that up, let's cleanse this. If we can keep that up, then we're golden. Alright, block debuffs, there we go. And now we just keep hitting. Alright, just providing poisons, more shields here, decrease attack, and then we just keep going. And then we keep hitting. And what I try to do specifically with Demytha here is I want to extend the block debuffs here. So we're probably, this is gonna fall off. We should have used the A2 there. And then we just keep going like this. Now we're a little bit of a, not dangerous zone, but we might get frozen here just because we didn't provide the extension there. And then boom, block debuffs, we're golden, provide HP burn, and there we go. I've did this in the previous one, in the previous rotation, and holy crap, the difference between, oh my god, this is like unbeatable, to holy crap, this became super easy. I mean, if anything, Grim Forest is, if you have the right champions with the right kit, with the right abilities, it's very easy, as you can tell. We can kill this off, obviously. You know what? Let's do it. Let's quickly kill it. Not that it gives us anything, I don't think. We can probably fast forward this. And there we go. Victory. That is Drogno on hard. Let's go through the next one. Which one should we go for here? Alright. So, again, we go through boss guide. I scroll all the way down. And here are some key points to bear in mind. Keep Taurus under block buffs, debuffs to prevent him from getting the shield, and counterattack buffs, and place freeze on Taurus to counter his turn meter fill effects. Bring champions that can place poison to debuffs to corrode Taurus HP. Alright. So, what we have here, we have poison, we have block debuffs, we have sustainability with Donnie, we have freezing. We got freeze with Cryoden, and we have sustainability, res, I mean, block debuffs, everything. So let's go through it. And sometimes sometimes there's a specific rotation that I need to keep in mind and keep certain cooldowns on. But I'll tell you this much: as soon as we have this, it's a little bit annoying. So if we had Mythrola here, she would probably not have gotten it because she has block debuffs in the start. So we just kind of have to fight through the first phase here until this gets removed. And this is also something where Donnie helps very much. So I'm going to ignore the fact that he's getting healed. He might get frozen here. There we go. Perfect. And then another one with Donnie here going in with the heal. Perfect. Donnie is huge for Grim Forest, by the way. Now, if I want to technically ensure the freeze, I always want to do Razor Hail. It just increases the chance to get him frozen. We didn't get him frozen there. Cleanse that off. And we're gonna save the cleanse now. The cleanses only go when we have HP burn. That's when we want to cleanse it. Because what we don't have here is heal reduction. There we go. Block debuff's huge. We're tossing the poison. We might get a freeze. There we go. Perfect. Block debuffs. Boom. And now what I want to do is I want to reset the cooldown of the block debuffs. So we're going to initiate with that. Decrease the cooldown. Not going to go with that yet. Name it on the freeze. Perfect. Toss a little poison. Block debuffs is not running out. Let's not waste that. We can do a little heal. Again, save the cleanse. We don't have block debuffs. Let's put that up. Maybe go for freeze. Perfect. Now we go block debuffs. Okay, that missed. Frozen. I mean, some things are obviously in RNG. I mean, the way if he gets frozen or not, for example. So here, he might place HP burn. Okay, no, he didn't. But as soon as he does, I need to make sure I cleanse that off immediately. Again, because I don't have any heal reduction, he's gonna get healed up like crazy. Yeah, let's go for this. Get that on. Get the frozen. And then we just keep going like this. Block debuffs. Block buffs, I mean. Perfect. We haven't needed to use our cleanse at any point. He's frozen. Doesn't show though. And then we just keep going like this. Alright. Gonna fast forward again until he's dead. And there we go. Taurus is down. So, one thing to keep in mind, I mean, obviously, your champion kit might be a little bit different, obviously. But the one thing that I take away, because I'm not I mean, you could read all of this, but usually I just go down to the bottom, check if I got these. If I do, perfect. If I don't, redraw the token, try it there, and then after that, if there's something that's gonna like be like, oh my god, wait, hold on a second, what the hell is going on here? There was on one of the enemies that I was up against. I was like, wait, hold on, I need to actually check what the hell he's doing, and then I need to go back and actually check it. But that's Taurus down. Let's see, who else do we have? What's the last boss? Where are the other two? There we go. Again, boss guide all the way down. So, I'm gonna need plenty of shield and block debuffs. Alright, cool. One thing that is not mentioned here is probably mentioned here. The heal reduction and HP burn is really nice. So, what we have here is we have block buffs here. We have heal reduction on Cold Heart. We have turn meter boost and also being able to remove buffs. Same thing here with Geo and burn. And then we have sustainability. I think Alva is in all of the teams. It's been in 3 out of 4 so far. But let's go through it again. So starting off, she applies the heals here. What I'm probably gonna try to do is, first of all, it's almost unnecessary to put block buffs now because she's already putting them up. So we can put some resistance up. Get a heal reduction, perfect. And then we start with the burns. And then I'm just gonna use Arbiter for just increasing the turn meter. I'm gonna save the A2 here for the next round, because this will finish off soon in the next round, so we're just gonna use it then. Oh, actually, whoa, I misclicked. Sorry, I misclicked. All right, and then just try to apply the heal reduction once again. Let's steal it. It's only 1 turn though. And as long as I have heal reduction, then we're basically fine. And with the A1, it's a pretty high guarantee to actually get that. Block buffs can be nice. The HP burn is gonna do most of the damage here. The HP burn combined with the heal reduction is just amazing. However, Cold Heart's heal reduction isn't always 100%, which is why Feral plays such a good part here, even Ugo if he was available, with the block buffs. And then we go again with the HP burn. And we have like safe like factors here as well. So this is a bit RNG, but like Arbiter, if she gets a heal off, Arbiter can sometimes remove it. Geomancer can remove it as well. And then just try to keep the heal reduction up and try to just keep the block buffs in just to be safe on. And then we're pretty good actually. Do a little bit of there we go, and then we just rinse and repeat. Alright, let's fast forward until we're done here. And there we go. One thing to keep in mind is when we are up against these bosses, Brimstone has helped me such like a lot as well, to just chunk off some HP, especially when you don't have the damage there. So then we just need to find the last boss, or the second to last boss, which is right over here. Again, boss guide, let's go. All the way down here. Combating Maximos ultimately comes down to making sure you have the right champions to either cleanse debuffs immediately or place consistent block debuffs. Don't forget to bring HP burn either. You'll need it to help avoid landing weak hits and the poison cloud. So what we have here, this one was a little bit of a I believe this one was a little bit more difficult than the other ones. Let's have a double check here. Let's see. So with this fight, keeping up block debuffs and then just sustaining the damage, if we can take care of that, we're basically there. But this guy hits like a freaking truck. Here we go. So, sustainability, sustainability, and sustainability. And as soon as you have poison, you want to cleanse it off. So immediately here, cleansing that off. And the A2 here is a cleanse, and I want to be aware of when I'm using this. So for this turn, let's go with the A3 here. Block debuffs. And we can sometimes remove this here. Okay, going with high resistance to increase the chance of missing poison from us. One thing here, especially, is every time you hit him, your buffs fall off, as you can see there. Yeah, I remember now I was struggling big time with this boss. So I want to avoid hitting him as much as possible. We want the block debuffs up immediately, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. Place that, and then we have a cleanse right there. And again, you want to avoid hitting him as much as possible. When you can't, you can. What are you gonna do? We're gonna hold off on the heal here. That hit really hard. This is super bad now. We need a cleanse from one of these guys. And there we go with the Donnie. Perfect. High resistance. We could go heal here. But I'm not gonna. It's also very important that we have a reviver, which is Elva. Because I remember when I did this the first time, holy crap, I needed to rest. Sometimes it got really heated. Holding off on the heal. Let's go with that. It's perfect, perfect. Now we need to cleanse this off immediately. Boom, there we go. Let's toss the heal. Let's toss the cleanse. Also keeping in mind when your cooldowns are off. So right now for the next turn, I know Elva is going to have the cleanse available to us. So we're holding off on this one. We're not decreasing any cooldowns. We need that for later. And yeah, let's do this. There we go. And let's increase that. Hit with this. This is a little bit. Let's go with it. Increase resistance. And we just keep juggling like this, making sure we have some sort of cleanse as soon as we get hit by poison. Because if you let this poison go up for like 1 or 2 turns, you're basically dead, or you're in desperate need in order to resurrect your champions. But yeah, we're gonna keep going like this until he's dead. And there we go. Sustainability, trying to have champions that don't hit because you're just getting your debuffs or your buffs removed. So if you can take the damage, then you're good. Let's go on to the last boss. And then we have Li Shun, the Entangled one. So again, this guy has a freaking wall of text. The definition of too long didn't read. Scrolling all the way down. Hold on. Li Shun with 1 roaming boss. We have no roaming bosses. So, regarding this boss, from what I recall, I'm not reading it, and I'll show you how I defeated him, is basically he entangles someone, but I think with the highest speed. And basically with Elva, we can always revive them. So he's going to entangle one of the champions, and then we're just trying to turn meter boost ourselves, HP burn, put the poison on, while actively trying to just rest the champion that recently died. So, without further ado, I'll show you how at least I did it. So, first off, go through like this. Brimstone perfect. Some decreased defense perhaps. Nice HP burn. Boom. And then a block debuffs. There we go. So, Mythrola is now entangled. And now we just kind of want to get this up. And basically there's going to be some huge damage coming in. And what we're doing there is just sort of, well, we're gonna rest at the point because she will die. We can manually boost the turn meter of Mithril to get away from the entangle, but what I do is just ignore that and just keep going. HP burn again. Here's the damage. And what I want to do is I want to make sure that the Mithrala gets entangled again and no one else. If Elva would get entangled, I would probably be screwed. So I'm basically using Mithrala throughout this like boss event basically as bait, while all the other champions are doing their work. There we go. Very important again that I get up Mithrala. What I can do as well is I can let him entangle someone else, but Mithrala is pretty chunky, and I don't know, she works best, I feel like, with this. Try to get like shields on Mithrala as well. Try to just buff her up immediately before she gets entangled once again. Continuous heal, and there we go with the entangle. That's pretty bad. That's a fourth of the health. But then again, Lesion is almost dead. Missed HP burn, no bueno. And I'm just gonna fast forward now till he's dead, basically. And there we go. Lesion, the entangled one, is dead. So you can read through the whole kit and go like, oh, okay, how did I do this? So, but what I'm gonna point out, without like using, I guess, logic, I'll now summarize each boss here and what to think of according to my own experience here. I don't know if this is stupid, but I don't know. Hopefully this helps. So, Lesion the Entangled one. My summarization, okay? Have Elva. Have someone that can revive, okay? Doesn't specifically need to be Elva, but as you can see, I've used Elva throughout all these bosses, and obviously she's been a very good help for this. But what Elva provides, if we just get to that, she provides block debuffs, she has continuous heals, and she has block debuffs. Those things are pretty huge. But with Lesion specifically, make sure that you revive the one that got entangled, so you keep them entangled. HP burn, super nice. Brimstone, also very nice. Someone like Deacon with turn meter control, also very nice, making sure that you go before the boss does. So that's Lesion the Entangled one. Okay, I'm gonna again summarize the other bosses here. Have I missed where they are? Okay, here. Block buffs, freeze, and also block debuffs in case you would get HP burn, and you're good. And then where was he? There he is. Having block debuffs, HP burn, and basically just survivability go through here. Again with the Brimstone, very nice. I have them on 2 champions here. Always helps on this boss. Here, a combination between heal reduction and block buffs. So, for example, if Cold Heart's heal reduction doesn't get applied, make sure you have block buffs so she doesn't pump up the continuous heals that she will put on herself. Stealing buffs in case they are applied, very important. HP burn with the damage, and as well Brimstone with the damage. And then here specifically, making sure you have a cleanse as soon as you get poison. Alright? Every time you attack, you lose a bunch of buffs, so make sure you keep track of that. How I dealt with this is trying to keep as many buffs on myself as possible with cleanses and everything. Trying to not attack him as much as possible. And then just survive through his chunky damage that he deals. And yeah, that's basically it. that has been the summarization of how I dealt with Grim Forest. So if you guys have any questions a bit more detailed, then let me know in the comments below and I'll help you as best as I can. That being said, for the other turns or the rotation of this, I have been able to get both chests, both on normal and hard. When you can't go any further, try to clear the nodes. Try to chase those 15 charms both in hard and normal, because it is worth it. And then after that, you know, what I did in the beginning is I just like, okay, these champions are not cutting it. Redraw, 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 and try to just get one big challenge out of the way every day. That, with all that being said, guys, I put out videos every 3 days. Might do it a little bit more frequent depending on how my life situation looks like. But other than that, make sure you guys subscribe if you like the content, and I'll see you guys next time.